What's up, Comic Book Nation? It's your host, Kofi Outlaw, and today I am here to review the new horror film, Barbarian, by director Zach Cregger, starring Georgina Campbell, Justin Long, and Bill Skarsgard. We're going to talk about this and try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, which is a difficult thing to do, which is kind of leading into my review, which is that Barbarian is a very enjoyable horror movie experience, but also one of the hardest ones I've ever had to talk about, because of the way it plays out. The story starts and stars Georgina Campbell as a woman named Tess, who shows up one rainy night in a kind of dilapidated, abandoned part of Detroit and needs to go to a job interview and stay overnight at a B&B. And there she finds she's had a mishap with another person who has been booked in the same house, played by Bill Skarsgard, who you may remember from the It movie when he played Pennywise the Clown. Now, Barbarian is counting on you remembering that, because the first act of the movie is basically just a will he, won't he about how creepy or not this guy that Tess meets is. But from there, Zach Cregger takes it down a ladder of descent into some pretty wild horror movie places. And that is all I will say, because I don't want to ruin the experience for any audiences. Barbarian basically lives or dies on whether or not that progression of things getting even crazier and scarier and more horrific actually works. And I'm proud to say that Zach Cregger pulls it off by picking the right kind of cast members to put in this movie. Georgina Campbell does an excellent job as Tess of kind of carrying us through this whole kind of don't go down there type progression and making it seem convincing and for good reasons. Justin Long shows up and plays, all I will say is he plays a famous Hollywood actor and does a very good satirical job of playing somebody who is, let's just say, not the most likable Hollywood personality you could meet. And then there's Bill Skarsgard, who does a fantastic job kind of teetering the line between being endearing and scary and keeping you guessing. That's about all I can tell you about Barbarian, except that at its climactic point, there is some pretty wild stuff that will have audiences all shouting. And I won't tell you why, but I think it's a thing you will be hearing about. So do I recommend this movie? Certainly. And I recommend it as a theatrical experience because, like I said, this is a kind of horror movie experience that requires a crowd reactions. And it's one where you're probably not going to have people talking too much because it is tense, taut, and keeps your attention zeroed in on that screen pretty much the whole time. So I can easily say it's about a 3.5 to 4-star film for me. You should go out, check it out before all the buzz comes and spoilers start to hit. But I got to see it at Comic-Con, and that's a hard to win over crowd, but everybody came away really, really digging it and having a good time with it. So that is my review of Barbarian, and stick around after this portion of the video because I got to sit down with director Zach Cregger and Justin Long and Georgina Campbell and talk about as much of the film as we possibly could. Be sure to check that out, and be sure to check out Comic Book Nation every week right here on our Comic Book Nation YouTube channel or on various streaming platforms, and you can get it on your podcast platforms. And be sure to keep you tuned to comicbook.com. Peace. What's up, Comic Book Nation? I'm Kofi Outlaw, and I am here with Georgina Campbell and Justin Long, stars of the new horror thriller movie Barbarian. Guys, first of all, I just want to say I got the pleasure of seeing this movie during Comic-Con 2022, and I could see firsthand it is a definite crowd pleaser. So congratulations on that. First things first.
Oh, thanks, Kofi. Good to see you. I think we saw each other there.
Yes, we did. We had talked to you the next day. We had a little fun because we couldn't talk about it then, but I feel like we can talk about it a little bit more now. We can even call your character by name in this second round of interviews. So let's start there. I'm sure you've been asked this a bunch, but I have to ask and kind of join in the bunch. Is there anything you can tell us about your character, AJ, and what you kind of drew from to draw this, to play this kind of character of this particular, let's say, type of actor or Hollywood star?
AJ, I thought it was Adge. No, he is just an amalgamation of people that I've known in this industry and in my life. And, he's just a very entitled, he's a real narcissist. And he doesn't take any accountability for the despicable things he's done. And I feel like that's an unfortunately like all too common thing in our industry, which is getting better, I think. But there's definitely a lot to draw from, on just my experiences.
Well, your character definitely hits in the classic horror sense some, let's say, hard times. Was it cathartic then to have that kind of experience befall this character, or because it was you having to go through all this, was there no catharsis to be found there?
No, I thought it was interesting how Zach used a character like that in the genre and what he puts this guy through, and how he relates to Georgina's character. I just thought it was also, I thought he was using a lot of really complicated social issues in a very deft, nuanced way, in a way that doesn't at all hit you over the head with it, but in a way that maybe sparks some conversation afterwards. I think just on its surface, it's such a fun ride, so that anything else that comes from it, any extension of any kind of conversation afterwards is just icing on the cake, I guess. But it is just such a fun ride to go on.
Georgina, so much of this movie hinges on our ability to follow your character, Tess, through these kind of step-by-step decisions that she has to make. Can you just talk a little bit about what it took for Zach to kind of possibly walk through these steps and kind of navigate you through how Tess was going to kind of handle these situations?
Yeah, I think the script was really well written. It was really tight. It completely made sense. Her decisions make sense to me. He was, a fantastic director. Someone was talking to me the other day, and I didn't even realize they were saying, what about all those scenes where you're on your own? And I was like, on my own? Like, I don't really. They're like, yeah, there's like loads of scenes where you're like walking through, or like, you're reacting and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, but I didn't really feel like I was alone. I felt like Zach was there and was kind of, talking me through everything and had my back. And it's really enjoyable to have scripts and to have filmmakers that are able to show so much without spelling everything out. It's kind of fun to be able to sell things through looks rather than having to always say exactly how a character is feeling or what they're thinking. So I really enjoyed that side of it.
Would you be up for more, Georgina, if you had the chance?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to work with Zach again. I absolutely would love to work with him again. I'm sure he's going to be a very busy guy and much in demand. So, but if he, ever wanted to go back to Barbarian, yeah, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
All right. Thank you, guys. That's all my time. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And I can't wait for the film to be released.
Oh, man. Me too. Yeah. Can't wait to really be able to talk about it. Sorry that we're still our second talking about it, and we still can't really talk about it.
I know. We're just getting to that like third date point. We can really talk. So exactly. we're inching up there. But have a great rest of the day. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. You too.